Hello everybody and welcome back to Vintage Thursday. So today what we're going to do, just a quick little video. So we're with the TVO 35 in the shed, and on the back is the T-bar style pickup hitch. Now what we're going to do today, and we're going to go to the 3-cylinder 35, rub off the drawbar and the belly plate off of that, take the hook off of this and swap the drawbar, the interchangeable drawbar, onto this. Okay, so this is what's currently fitted to the tractor. It is the original style pickup hook that came out. This wider style of hook came out with the 35s in 1956. This is a 1958 tractor, so this is basically what was available at the time. So this is held on by 4 studs and nuts up into the transmission housing, studs up through. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take that off. We're going to go to the other 35, take off the whole belly plate and the drawbar. The advantage of that is going to be we can still have a hook, a different style to this, but we'll see that in a minute. We'll still have the hook, same controlled by the T-bar as this one is, but also a bit more versatile. We can take the hook away, leave the belly plate on and swap it for a drawbar. Or swinging drawbar. It is fixed in so much that it is not, you cannot raise and lower the drawbar by the T-bar. I mean, it is just a fixed height, but the hook works in exactly the same way as this for picking up trailers, all controlled by exactly the same T-bar and drop bars as this one. So the reason for doing this, we have got a video coming up hopefully in the next few weeks. This tractor, we need to have a drawbar on it. The machine we're going to use, we cannot use the pickup hitch, and so we've got to swap it for the drawbar. What I did probably back in the spring, late winter, I actually found a 135 style pickup hitch with proper, it's permanently fitted. It doesn't have to have all this T-bar. So that one's eventually going to go onto the diesel 35. It needs a bit of fettling, so that'll be a video coming up in the future. But the advantage of those over this, it's permanently fitted. You don't have to have all this T-bar. And these bars. So the 135 style hitch has got permanent brackets onto the upper link arms with like the loop brackets that pick the whole lot up and down. So one of the advantages of the slightly more modern type is the drawbar will actually raise and lower with the arms. This is a fixed type. The other major advantage, we do away with all this T-bar because it is a bit of a faff, and you've got these bars and it's always in the shed. When you want it, you're somewhere else. With the more modern style, it's always there. It's ready to go in an instant. This, although it's good, for its time, it is a bit of a fiddle to mess about and put it all on. So we're going to do a little upgrade. So first thing we've got to do, we will go and take off the belly plate off of the other one, and we will drop this hook off, put the belly plate on, put the drawbar on, because like I said, we've got a machine that will only take a drawbar. We cannot use the hook. Right, so here we are now with the other tractor. As you can see, it's got the drawbar on. It's held in place onto the belly plate by a longer pin at the back and up in the front. Going to there somewhere. There's another pin going across. So like I said, there is no way of fixing or connecting this swinging drawbar to the T-bar. So it is only just, there's two positions. So there is 2 height positions you can select, and there's 2 positions in the drawbar for in and out movement. He's in as tight as he'll go at the moment. But that's all the adjustment you get. It doesn't drop down to pick up an implement. That's just why back in the old days they all had the screw adjuster. So for example, implements like the 12 fertilizer spreader we've just got recently. It's missing at the minute, but it would have had a screw adjuster so that you can adjust the height of the drawbar, because this is fixed height. So first thing we'll do, we'll pull the pins out. This will then drop down, and then we can get access to the studs, the nuts on the studs, and take, this is the belly plate here. This is a bit that never comes off the tractor. So this is permanently fitted, and then you can change between the drawbar and the pickup hitch. Fits in. Can't really tell. There's a little gap in there. We'll see that in a bit when we put it back on. Yeah, so we'll pull out the back pin, It is a little bit easier when your pier does come down a bit easier when the drawbar is in its second position, which is there. Gives you two options. So right, there's this bit out the way. So here's a view underneath of, so this is the belly plate, held in place by the four nuts. We just undo those, drop it down. So studs are unscrewing as well. Oh, there's a cat. Can you see the cat? Is he on? There's a cat on camera. The first cat to star on Vintage Thursday. Should have brought a socket really, shouldn't I? Never mind. Oh, there's a cat gone. Just didn't want to be on the internet. So the stud is staying in the tractor on this one, and the nut is coming off. Plate seems to be a little bit stuck. We could end up having to give it a little tap to free it off. I suspect this has been on since new. Never know, might even find a bit of original paintwork. No original paintwork under there. So these are the studs, exactly the same. If you saw the video last year where we put the pickup hitch back onto the P3 diesel engined Ferguson tractor, exactly the same studs. So these holes, exactly the same hole spacings on a T20. The difference being, if you wanted to, this will fit a T20, but you have to cut a hole in the middle because there is a drain plug for the transmission oil. But other than that, one of these would fit. The same size studs, same stud spacing. It's just that drain plug. You've got to cut a hole in your plate to give you some clearance. So we'll just put these nuts back on for safekeeping for when we get to putting the other hitch back onto here. Having said they're the same as what we used on the T20, thinking about it, they may actually be a little bit longer because this plate is thicker. So they're the same 5/8 of an inch stud, and they are UNC into the casting and UNF into the nuts. But yeah, thinking about it, these studs would be longer. Okay, so here we have the component parts. This is the plate we've just taken off, and the drawbar. And the other part of the set is the hook. So in work, the drawbar the pin sits between here and outside of the bracket on the rear of the tractor, or towards the rear, and the hook. And the hook, both of the brackets on the hook fit in the center of the plate with a pin through. So we do have, I don't know whether all hooks are like hitches are like this, but on this one, and for the hook we keep a separate shorter pin, otherwise the drawbar pin, otherwise this pin for the drawbar is quite a bit too long. So I'm not sure what's standard, but that's what we've got on this one. Right, so like we said at the start, first job, take the T-bar off, take the drop arms off, and exactly the same as the drawbar plate, and we'll take the hook off. Long-term plans for the hook, and part of the reason for buying the extra pickup hitch, we were going to shuft you down the line. So the pickup hitch is going to go on the diesel, this plate and the drawbar system is going to come onto this one, and then this single, just a hook, is going to transfer in time to a grey gold diesel 35. That is in the collection but needs a total restoration. That's on the to-do list way down the line. So yeah, so that's part of the reason for buying an extra hitch. We were one short anyway, and we're just shifting them all down the line. So take the T-bar off first. So we're going to have to check the length of these studs, because like I said, I've taken the plate off. They could well be longer. There does seem to be plenty of thread sticking out of these, so hopefully we should be able to use these again. So just on these, kept caught under these two rearmost bolts is this anti-jump plate to just make sure a trailer, when you're tipping it and the weight transfers, there is no gap for the eye to jump out. So this hook hasn't been on this tractor all that long. When I got the tractor, what was that, about 11 years ago, it actually came fitted with the T20 style hook, and the very narrow type. I swapped it over for this one, which is correct for the age of the tractor. So the 35 and the T20, although the hooks are different, the mounting, like I said earlier, the mounting holes are the same spacing, same size, but the brackets, these angle brackets, are different for the two types of hook. So you can swap a complete unit onto a different tractor, but you can't mix a T20 hook with the 35 style brackets. They've got to sit together as a pair. Right, so there's the hook removed. We'll just quickly give these studs a clean up. They are look to be, looks like I put new studs in when I did it, so they're still nice and shiny. Just make sure the pads up in underneath the transmission are clean, so that we get a good connection and they don't work loose with a bit of dirt or rust in between. And I reckon those studs look long enough. So we'll take our plate and we can see which way it was before. You can see where the pads were, but these plates do have to go a certain way. There is a top and a bottom. You can see it's flush there because they're not welded on central to the plate and they're a little bit offset, so that's got to go to the top. Just give the plate a rub off. Now the tricky bit, the heavy bit, holding it all up and getting a nut on. Right, I'm going to ignore the washer for now and just get it held there. Right, so the plate's held on by one nut. We've got some new spring washers, although the other ones aren't all that old. We'll just change them. And take the first nut back off, put a washer behind it. And pull it. So there we go, all changed, all done up tight, nice new washers. Just use the original nuts just cause there's nothing wrong with it. So when we want to put the pickup hook on, all we've got to do, get it into position. Oh, don't hit the camera. Just sits onto the plate like so. There's a pin at the back. There's a bit of an issue. At the front there is a horizontal exhaust silencer bracket. This tractor clearly had a horizontal exhaust pipe at some point. Right, just bent that out of the way. So pin at the front. And pin at the back. And then just the same as the other one. Take the pin out and the drop arms for the T-bar would go onto there. Lift it up and down on the T-bar. Or put that pin in there to stow it when you're not using it. And then when you want to change to the drawbar, simply pull the pins. Take away the entire hook section, or hook, or what would you call it? Just a hook, I guess. Put that in the corner of the shed and forget where you left it. Then you just bring in your drawbar and slide the pins in. And this thing is enormously heavy. And you've got to somehow heave it up onto there. Alright, get the back pin in, swing it up, get the front pin in. And then I just happen to know we need to be in the upper hole, or the lower hole I guess you'd call it, upper position. Pin in the end, and there we are, all ready for action. And just put our top pin back in so it doesn't fall out. And that is it, job is completed. So like I said, yeah, you either put your hook in and then use the same T-bar as what we started the video with, or put the drawbar on, which is what we need. That's the whole point of this video. I need to use the drawbar, so we're going to leave that one on. So there we are. So all you've got to do now is you should subscribe, because then you will find out what machine we're going to hitch onto this, hopefully next week. So hopefully next video we will be seeing what machine we're going to hook on here. If anybody wants to have a guess, go ahead, but there ain't no prizes, and I probably won't even tell you if you're right or not. You just got to wait and watch the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.